exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
And today we're talking about the Fae Sorceress Lulu. Finally, a champion that I play.
One of your mains.
I know, it's very exciting.
You're not a big Darius player?
No, I try and support. People get mad at me, and
I can't imagine why.
Right?
I can't imagine why.
right.
Well, since she's one of your mains, surely you will have a great impression prepared for her.
John, why would you do that? Why would you put that on me? We're sitting
Put
here
that
right
evil
now.
on her.
Now I feel like I want to do a different one, and now I can't think for the life of me of what Lulu says.
What does
even
Lulu
though I
say?
play her
What
all the
even is
time.
Lulu?
Transmogulate.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Stunning. Visionary.
All right. John, you sick. Hit us with it.
Nosy Dewdrop.
Cute.
Thank you. Thank
Super cute.
you.
That's sexy.
Well,
Okay. All right.
all right, Mark. Let's hear what you got.
All right.
Yup, that tasted purple.
Pretty good, right?
Wait a minute. I know that voice. Is there someone else on the line?
There you go.
There
John.
we go.
Whoa, there are 4 rectangles over Discord. Crazy.
Wait a minute.
fucking minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to our friend Faye.
Pleased to meet
Hello,
you.
our friend Faye.
Oh,
Hello.
Hi.
Talented
to be
voice
here.
actress of the Fae Sorceress.
Yeah.
She is near and dear to my heart. But yeah, hi.
I'm so glad.
I'm Faye Mata. I'm a voice actor. I stream on Twitch. But I don't know. I guess I'm best known for voices in video games and anime. Like Aqua and Konosuba and Astolfo and Fate Apocrypha. I'm in Miraculous Ladybug. I'm in Sailor Moon. I'm in Hunter x Hunter. I did Petra and Fire Emblem Three Houses. And I don't know, lots of stuff. Pokemon. What else? I never
Sound like
remember
kind of a
all
big
of my.
deal.
I mean, it's a lot of roles. I am fortunate. I'm blessed. I'm not trying to brag. I'm really proud of my work over the years, and it's really humbling because I started as a fan of just anime and video games, and working in it now is super super cool. So I played League of Legends before I got to voice Lulu, and I always loved Pokemon, and now to say that I am in Pokemon or Final Fantasy, these things that I played growing up or watched growing up, is I don't know, it's exciting. It's like, you follow your dreams and then you do it, and it feels really good.
Yeah, it's been
believe
amazing
it.
kind of seeing the random places that you pop up too, because I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan too, and then when I saw the credits on that, I was like, holy shit, are you kidding me?
It's really surreal. I swear, because for me and I mean most voice actors, we just work in our booths, or pre-COVID it was you go to the studio, or even before that, it's just a bunch of emails. People send you emails and it's like, okay, would you like to audition for this character, or we think you would be a good fit for this character, but they send that to so many other people who also might be in the same vocal range. It's just, you don't really think about the final product. It's how do I say this? It's like you get into a flow of things of oh, here's an email, I'm going to do the audition, and then you have to forget about it, because if you get too attached, you're setting yourself up to be disappointed, because there's just so much competition out there, and it's not even everybody just has so many unique voices, and there could be any reason why you're cast or not cast, and so you train yourself to put it out of your mind immediately after you audition, and on top of that, you don't know when these things are going to come out. Game devs don't say, oh, we will also be releasing the game on this exact date. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. That gets pushed back several times. So, you don't think about it anymore. So 1 year or 2 years later, when it finally comes out, and then suddenly I get some, I don't know, people tweet at me or something over Twitter.
That's how you find it. how it
Yeah,
came
no,
out.
seriously. Most of the times I find out that something is actually out, it's because somebody has tagged me in it and was like, "Oh, great job!" And I'm like, "Wow, it's out now! Oh my god, I can talk about it." I'm buried in NDAs all the time.
I'm sure.
And things like going to conventions now. Like I used to go to anime conventions as a kid, and now I go to them as a guest. And I don't know how to explain it, but I guess surreal is the best word. 'Cause I like go there and like you have to do these like meet and greets and autograph sessions and stuff like that. So I just walk into the room and there's already like a line that's formed, and I still can't believe it. Like they're here for me. Like what did I even do? How did like you see these things release one by one, right? When I say you put it out of your mind, you like really put it out of your mind. So I don't even realize how they rack up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, I don't even know how to say all of this without sounding like I'm like humble bragging or something. But I'm like to this day, I'm still floored and I can't believe it, because I, like many people, have also just experience things like imposter syndrome. Like you never think you deserve it, and then you're there, and then you see all these people, and it's like, why? I didn't do anything.
Well, you're
But-
definitely not bragging, and if you are, you have all the rights in the world to brag a bit. Like, so go for
Right.
it. Seriously.
And-
It's
Yeah,
a
congrats.
conflicting feeling. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
Congrats too for the reprising the role in both Legends of Runeterra and Wild Rift recently, right?
Oh yeah, and like little animations, like the yordle. What was it?
Oh, yeah,
Don't mess with
Tales
yordles.
of
Yeah.
Runeterra. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
love
I
that one.
love that
one of our
one.
favorite cinematics.
Uh-huh.
It might-
It's
yeah.
so
might be my
cute.
favorite.
I felt very fortunate because working with the Riot team on that was super fun. They were so open to like I don't know, ad libs and just having fun with it. Like that pop that Lulu does, it just came out and they were like, we're keeping that.
I was
Really?
just gonna say that thing fucking kills me every like the pop on the end
Yeah.
of nope. Is that the nope?
Yeah, it's a
Loved
good
it.
time. The team was super fun and patient, and well, I don't know. I think that's the best when you work with people who are all passionate about the thing that you're about to create, and then you see it come out. And like I didn't know that kind of animation was going to be the result of what we were recording. Because you don't see the final product. Like, we're laying the track down, right? I don't know what it's going to look like in the end.
Interesting. Yeah, I never knew which order those went in. Like
Well,
whether
yeah,
you
I was
had the
curious
animation and
too.
you synced up the audio to it, or whether you did audio first.
It depends, because, I mean, do you want me to go into it? There's like a few different ways that I've
I mean,
experienced doing VO.
I mean, I'm always interested, and I know.
Okay, I
it's,
just don't know if you want to, like, focus on Lulu or, like, voice acting at all, or what.
Now, Lulu has very little lore, so it's okay.
We go on
Okay.
a lot of tangents
We
on this
do.
podcast.
Okay, sure,
This
sure,
is one
sure.
is like, here's an actual
so I-
expert, like someone who knows their shit.
I think a lot of Western animation, I tend to do prelay. But that's also because we're laying the original English track, right? So I worked on this show called Lego Friends, and it's like a bunch of friends. And when we recorded it, we were all looking at the same script in the same room with microphones just slightly apart from each other. And so we would record everything, but you know, we would run all the way through, but it wouldn't be perfect all the times. Or sometimes it was a scene that you weren't even part of. So you're basically sitting there a lot and getting to know these people very well, cracking jokes in between, some that are inappropriate for like, I don't know, children's
Lego
shows.
friends.
Yeah, but I will neither confirm or deny that we did that. But it's just fun, and I actually really like that style because I got to actually see other people, as opposed to like dubbing. You kind of come in for just your lines. You're like there's an engineer and a director on the other side of the glass in a studio, and you're just the only one in the booth You can make whatever gestures you want, facial expressions you want. Nobody will see it. You do whatever it takes to get the sound that you want to come out, but nobody else is with you. So, yeah, it could be really quick, honestly. Like, you could be, let's see. Like, I worked on ReZero, right? And ReZero is, at least at its time, like a fairly big anime. But my character, Priscilla, didn't really have that many lines, but was like a fairly, I don't know, she's a side character. And it didn't really take long to record that entire season for me, because like that could be 1 or 2 sessions, whatever it was. And then there's like when I did Miraculous Ladybug, I voiced Kagami in that, and that's originally in French. And the European style, or at least that style that we used to dub it, is called Rhythmo Band, where it looks kind of like if you've ever played Rock Band with a scrolling karaoke kind of thing.
Naturally.
Yeah, there's like a line that goes straight, like a vertical line in the I guess like just a little bit in from the Rhythmo Band is what you call it. And so like the text scrolls and it's in cursive. So if it's short, it's really compact, and if it's a long line, it might be stretched out. And it can be hard to read, but it's fun. It's interesting.
I can imagine.
It sounds very difficult.
It's like you're playing a rhythm game while you're trying to.
Yeah.
No,
Every
really,
job
it
is a
really is
minigame.
like that's why I compare it to something like Rock Band or Guitar Hero or whatever. And there's
Good that you had so much experience playing those going into it.
yeah, seriously. There's also just like different languages that are used in, and by that I mean like annotations. That could vary for the studio or the project itself. There's just a lot of things like a caret. You know, the like, how do you describe a caret? The like shift 6.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
keyboard.
Yeah, like
Keyboard carrot. Yeah, not like the vegetable. That is like take a quick breath.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the Rhythmo Band European style, it's like parentheses H or /H, and it's like a. it's interesting. There's like different things that you kind of just learn like that. Like a caret is a different length of breath than an apostrophe.
Huh.
Okay.
Yep.
That is a
Interesting.
nuance.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and sometimes if it's like dubbing anime, it can be like MNS or let me think. I'll just do like OM, which is open mouth, to CM. So or CM to OM, and it could be like just cry or like cry. So you have to start with the mouth open and then end with like whimpering with your mouth closed, because that's what the picture shows, and that's how they write it in the script.
Man, it's like learning to read sheet music for the first
No,
time.
seriously. No, that's actually a really good comparison. It's like reading sheet music and memorizing symbols, and it can definitely differ between projects and studios. Just
Crazy.
styles. Yeah.
That's wild.
And and you're like not really you don't have much room in dubbing to actually ad-lib or anything. So that's also why it's fun to do the prelay style, where everybody's in the same room and playing off each other, and then animators, it's called prelay because it is the first track, and then animators can animate to that track. So yeah, it's really cool.
Nice. Oh,
Nice.
that's awesome.
So with the cinematic, then was all prelay then?
Yeah,
Is
that was
right?
well.
Okay.
Technically, yeah, it is prelay. I just recorded it from home, which is a whole other thing. Because of COVID, a lot of people stopped going to studios. Well, all of us did, really, because
Sure. Yeah.
you don't want to be in an enclosed space spitting over the same microphone kind of thing.
Right.
It was a whole thing. Like, I had to build my own home studio. A lot of voice actors did. And at first, it was just recording out of a closet kind of thing, like stuff all my
Yeah.
clothes on one side and make it work and cry
Crying in your closet
and pray
It's
that
for
you're
work.
going to get it. Yeah.
I'm just realizing that my background, by the way, my desktop background, is an image from that exact cinematic, by the way. So I have a giant image of
Oh,
Lulu
wow.
just right over here.
Amazing.
Uh-huh.
Now, Faye.
Yes.
Had they already named Lulu the Fae Sorceress before they got you to do the voice.
They did.
It was just a happy coincidence.
Yeah, it was a crazy
wow.
coincidence.
I always
I was
wondered.
curious.
Because I
Yeah.
also auditioned not using my name Faye.
Oh,
Surprise,
okay.
Oh,
surprise.
interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
I was very new at the time.
Yeah. I feel like I remember that.
So I was very surprised that I even got cast.
Well,
But I guess
they made a good choice.
Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, I believe at least I'm told that the way they do it is there's like a whole bunch of people that work on on champions, like one champion that represent different departments, and then they all go into one room and listen through all the auditions together. But I think only one person might have known that I was in the mix. But that's it. So I felt very fortunate.
That's awesome.
That's cool though.
And for those who don't know, by the way, Faye is also the reason why my whistling is in the game. Because they had initially reached out to you for that, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about
to see
that.
if-
That's so funny.
Yeah, because Faye and I were friends at the time, and they're like, "Hey, are you good at whistling? Can you do this thing?" It's like, I know someone who can.
Yeah, because I've heard you whistle. I had heard you whistle, and it's like a songbird. And I was when they were like, "Can you whistle?" Okay, first of all, I can't whistle. I can do like a tea kettle whistle kind of thing. It's not good. It's just I don't know. I'm not practiced, and it's something that's actually been used as a bit in Konosuba when we recorded that. Yeah, there's like a part where Aqua is doing this like whistling, like it's an animation of her like sticking her lips up to the sides, like she's whistling, and it's just like. Anyway, that aside, I'm really happy that you got to be in the game, and yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
for the forecast Jana.
Yeah.
and then they had me back for Jin too,
amazing.
which most of that got cut because the Jin original concept was very different than the Jin concept that they ended up releasing. But
Oh.
there's still bits and pieces of it that got cut in there anyway. Yeah.
Super cool.
So, are we ready to run through the bio?
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
On the universe page, she has her bio, an art spotlight video, and one short story, which we have talked about because I think was it who's in it? Draven, isn't it? I think?
Draven, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but bio Lulu,
By Anthony Reynolds Lene.
which is not on the universe page. They don't
Nope.
credit the authors of the bios for some reason. Lulu was a normal yordle in Bandle City, of course. One day she found what she thinks is an injured bird who steals her stick and runs away. Lulu chased him to a place called the Glade and meets Pix, who turns her stick into a staff, which made me laugh because, like, it still just looks like a wooden stick to me. I'm going to be honest.
Sticks and staffs, basically the same thing.
Right. In the Glade, Lulu has all kind of powers, and she plays there for a really long time, kind of forgetting her other life. She has no idea how long she's been gone. When she does remember, it's described like she's awakening from a dream and is back in the material world. So Lulu wants to go back, but she and Pix can't remember where to find the Glade. But she has brought some of the magic back with her. She could still do some magic that she did in the Glade. The rest of the bio is kind of like random stories about how she like trolls people around Runeterra as she's trying to find the Glade again, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. I
That's
feel
the
like
whole
from
thing?
the sounds of it, probably every single region in Runeterra has some sort of story about Lulu fucking with them. Like very Fizz-like. We're like,
That's
hey,
true.
there was this time I had this little creature and I don't know what the fuck happened. She turned all her swords into flowers. What the-
Yeah, they
me
actually
into a
wrote
nude.
this after meeting me as an analogy to me discovering the internet for the first time.
They didn't have an idea for Lulu's bio at all, and then you were like, "Let me tell you about my early internet days." And
No, I'm totally kidding, but it might as well be. I can tell you about like what the auditions said.
yeah,
Or like what
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
specs said. So I actually gave 3 different takes. But the audition called for a cross between Rarity from My Little Pony. There was this old show about ponies, and she was kind of like the, kind of like haughty. I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like proper, but kind of snobby in a way. One, and then a cross between Rarity and Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter, who is very airy and spacey.
I see that. Yeah.
I really see that influence. Yeah.
So I gave them both of those things. One that was, I guess it's mainly two different voices, but like we did different speeds as well. Because if you think about it, Luna Lovegood talks a little slow for like if you're playing a game, you don't want it to take 5 years for the line to come out when you click somewhere. So it still had to be sped up a little bit. And we tried different things from like her being really cutesy to a little bit more mischievous. And yeah, I don't know. I think that was an interesting process, and I was a little bothered by this. I don't even know if anybody noticed, but they mixed the two lines or tracks. Sorry,
really?
Like sets, I guess. Like some are really cute from the cute set, and others are like mischievous from the mischievous set. But I mean, I think it works in the end.
Now I'm gonna constantly try to think of which one is which. When
Yeah,
I'm
I think you'd be able to tell.
Mischievous Fae or cutesy Fae?
But yeah, it was
interesting.
definitely like a bubblier take, and one where she's just like really trying to mess with people all the time. Like, let's
Interesting.
use all the colors. We did a few different takes of that, and I think they went with the mischievous one.
I think so. I'm hearing it in my head, and it sounds pretty mischievous.
Because there was like
Let's use all the colors.
and
okay.
Let's use all the colors.
it's very different.
It's wild. I was curious how developed or clarified the idea was around like I guess the spec, like you said, or what, like how much they had Lulu kind of figured out as a character. But it sounds like they were still trying to nail it down, and I guess they kind of went with a middle path, almost.
Yeah. So Alex
think a lot of
Yee,
that was
I
this-
believe, wrote Lulu.
Okay.
And
You mean senior executive producer of Arcane?
yes, actually. Oh my gosh, that's true. So I actually asked him questions about like is she evil? Is she like good? Like how I wanted to just understand her more. Like what are her powers? And he's like, "Oh, well, Lulu she's just mischievous like fairies. She isn't actually trying to hurt anybody, but things in magic that would be considered taboo in other worlds aren't for her. So growing and shrinking someone's head might be taboo magic somewhere else, but it's just funny to her and harmless.
Yeah.
It's like that. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. That was the exact example that he gave me, and it stuck.
That's funny that he gave you that 'cause that shows up in that cinematic even with Pix's.
Yeah.
It's interesting too because the original lore, the original bio was like slightly, not darker, but I guess a little bit more sad for Lulu.
Yeah, she was more like misunderstood, fish out of water. She wanted to be friends with everybody, but kept turning them into mushrooms. And here she's just like, whatever. Turning people into mushrooms is
Oh,
super
yeah.
fun.
Magical
I guess I don't really know what their initial process was.
Yeah.
They in the initial lore, she went into the glade and then came out, but so much time had passed that everybody she knew was gone. So she didn't have any connections
I remember
left.
that actually. Yeah, that was sad.
And
It is a
then
little
for
more
some
dark.
reason, all the other yordles were like, "You're fucking weird. We don't want to hang out with you anymore." So they tried to banish her off of Bandle City
Like
too.
they have room to talk.
And then her lore ends with the classic.
Oh no.
She couldn't reconnect with people in the outside world, and the yordles wanted her off her land, so she turned to a vibrant magic place where those with unusual gifts were not just accepted, but adored. The League of Legends.
Oh.
Back when that was
can't-
part of the
Wow.
stories. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine Lulu being in the Institute of War because it seems like it'd be too stifling. Like they have rules and procedure and shit. That I just think Lulu probably
Yeah,
not
she's
all
chaos.
about, right?
Yeah. She's just vibing.
She's really just vibing.
That's like kind of what they did to Fizz now, though. Like they kind of gave that backstory to Fizz instead. They were like,
Yeah, they kind of did.
everyone he
It's-
loves is dead instead.
You know,
We'll give
I'll be
Lulu an
curious as
answer.
we go through these because I think Zoe's gonna be in the same space as like Lulu and Fizz. Like, how many different kind of mischievous, trickstery, small types we get when we rack up.
It's
I want a
just
giant
beloved
mischievous Trixie type.
Mm.
We don't get enough of them.
Right?
trope. Ivern. No, I don't actually know Ivern's lore.
Yeah.
Kind of, though.
So, I mean, while Lulu, the character, is like old, she's not first breath of creation old. However, it is mentioned that the Glade may have been the thing that produced Bandle City in the first place. So the Glade, probably first breath of creation old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Nearabouts.
don't really have much about the Glade or what it is or...
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is very
Magical.
like, right? It's the enchanted forest. Rules don't apply. So it could have been around for a minute. It could have been around for a million years, and it could have been both because it's just so like, wibbly wobbly of a place. It's kind of a long bio. It's like almost 800 words. It's 799, which I thought was kind of surprising for a Lulu bio because I think she's very
Right.
very straightforward, right?
Long
was
for a
little-
Yordle for sure,
Yeah.
compared to the other Yordle bios we've gotten.
It's true.
And
I didn't do
Bandle
a Heimer
City
count. It's
has
nearly
not gotten a lot of...
it's almost exactly 10 Heimers. Wow.
Yeah.
One off.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Faye,
was-
we measure the bio lengths in measures of Heimerdingers. How many Heimerdingers long is it? Because he has, what is it, like 80 words?
80 words.
Is his bio.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they do him dirty.
Poor thing.
Well,
Yeah.
he's an arcane.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, yeah.
They
That's
did
true.
right eventually.
Then they did him dirty in arcade.
He's
I
fine.
suppose.
He's fine.
He made friends with Echo, so he's good now.
Yeah.
Did you like Arcane, Faye?
I loved it. Yeah.
Right?
I actually
So
helped
good.
Riot read the beginnings of it.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, really?
I played all the female characters at a little round table in a meeting room kind of thing.
Oh,
Oh, man.
nice.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
That's
That
really
must have
cool.
been tough. There's a lot of emotion in those roles. Playing all of them all at once.
It was really fun, and to see where it started and where it is, what the final version is really cool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's an insanely cool thing to have like been in on in that way.
Right.
Yeah, that actually happened with another piece of lore in League of Legends. So I was in this like creative writing class kind of thing, and other rioters happened to be in it as well. And I wrote this story about these Demacian people who were a couple that went to the Shadow Islands? What is it? Shadowlands?
Shadow
Yeah,
Isles?
Shadow
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I already forgot. It was a while ago. And they had to like purify or like send the souls of dead allies at the time. It was kind of like Yuna from Final Fantasy X, sending
Gotcha.
souls kind of thing. At least the idea of it.
Yeah.
And so like the couple went there with a group, but then the group was separated, and I guess the short version is the wife's life is unfortunately taken, and the husband refuses to send her, and the group is like, you have to do that. You can't just let her be like this. And he's just like so heartbroken and so hurt. And so instead he ends up turning on his allies, and his wife is like this ghastly figure that is, oh, I guess instead of sending her, she gets absorbed into his wedding ring. And like the whole short story ended with him like killing everybody, and then the ghostly figure of his wife embracing him from the back, and that's how it ends. And then one of the creative, I forgot what his role was at the time, but his name was Rob, said that they really enjoyed my story, and so they decided to make this character Lucian and Senna.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
The Thresh thing,
Wow.
I had no, I guess that was like the trapped wife kind of thing, but it was definitely not like wedding ring. I think wedding ring is a little too religious or something.
Yeah.
So there were modifications, but it's like really cool to see how things kind of start and then become a thing. And like they're like huge now with
Oh yeah.
big like
We
both
we
of them
just
became
did Lucian
champions.
the other week. They
That's
have
so
more
crazy.
lore than just about anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually like really solid too.
Yeah, it's like some of the best written lore.
Yeah, it made
Even
me
the
really
AU
happy.
lore that they have is great.
It's true.
Yeah, so I guess I was just like really happy to see that concept become a real thing. Because it was just
That's
like a
awesome.
creative
Sure.
writing exercise. That was it. Like the whole thing was you make a structure of like what's the I guess the beginning, middle, end, the conflict or whatever, and the payoff for the viewer, and then we read them to each other. It was just like practice writing.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how
That's
that
super
started.
Hell of an exercise. Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to take us through the short stories? Well,
Don't say stories. Do you want me to do it?
Yes,
Rebecca?
please.
Yeah, no worries. So I know we talked about this before. It's called The Whispering Doodad by Graham McNeil. It's being told from the perspective of like a nature spirit. We think it's Ivern. And I like that
it
it's Ivern.
sounds
Yeah,
a lot like Ivern. They haven't confirmed it, but I'm just going to go on the record and say it's
So-
Ivern.
It is.
So Ivern definitely is narrating this story.
100%. You
Yeah.
heard it here first, folks.
It's following Draven and various Noxians as they're kind of making camp after the siege of Basilic, and then Lulu and Tristana pop out of a tree, and I guess they're trying to make their way back to Bandle City, but they kind of keep bouncing and teleporting around, and they happen to teleport into this glade where all these Noxians are, and they need this key, this doodad, the Whispering Doodad, to like get back into the roadways that they use, the magical paths, and Lulu can't find it, and it's like, oh, I can't find it because I don't have enough light, and so she just shoots like this big burst of light in the air, and things just start going fucking nuts. The Noxians start attacking Tristana and Lulu. This Ivern is kind of helping by having nature, like squirrels, like gang up on one Noxian or moving branches in the way of arrows, and Tristana's doing her thing. Lulu is the whole time doesn't really seem to like even recognize that there's danger, and is just having fun trying to chase the doodad around, and the doodad's having just as much fun hiding from her. Now, eventually, it kind of comes to a head when not Draven, but Tamara, I think she's like a war mason we've talked about in a few other pieces, kind of gets the bead on them. And then Lulu, she kind of gets the bead on them. Is it the Ivern knocks her away? Someone saved, I think, no, Tristana ults her. That's what it is.
Yeah, Tristana
and she gets this like,
fuck out of her.
not just into the tree line. Eventually, Draven kind of grabs a hold of Tristana, and then Lulu, in response, ults this rabbit that had shown up earlier in the story, and so it's this big fuck off rabbit, and Draven immediately just goes running. Lulu and Tristana find their doodad, and they make it out safely, and then that's kind of the long and short of the story. It's a ton of fun to read. Like, the summary
Yeah.
doesn't really do it justice.
Yeah, this was a fun one. And I like the whole thing about Lulu probably not even realizing she was in danger in the first place. I feel like Lulu never was in danger. I feel like
That's probably fair.
it reminds me like Lulu in this story reminds me of almost like Gara with his sand shield, where like there's this wild magic that's just constantly protecting her, and she doesn't have to do anything. It's just always deflecting shit for her, and she has no idea.
Can we guess what
It's
this is from, Mark? Do you have a guess? Because we both looked really confused. Naruto. Is it Naruto?
Yeah, it's Naruto.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, shit. Fuck.
Of course it was Naruto.
But yeah, it was cool, and we get to see a few things here. We get to see Pix using its shield on Lulu.
Oh, yeah.
We get some ability usage here. We get to see an actual Lulu quote in this story.
Oh, yeah.
Which one
She
is it?
gets
I don't
her
remember.
like hat pulled over her eyes, and then
Oh, yeah.
She sometimes see more with her eyes closed.
But do it with the boys. No. But yeah, Lulu's tons
I
of fun in
can't.
this too. Like, cause she pops out of the little portal, right, and the hat's down over her eyes, and she's like, "Oh, I've gone blind. This is new." Like, she's not phased at all.
Just so nonchalant.
Yeah.
I know.
I feel
it's
like-
good.
given the power level that's kind of described in her bio when she was, even after she got out of the Glade, because it's implied that like she got nerfed when she got out of the Glade, but like even in the bio, she walked through a war basically and changed the weapons of all the people on both sides to flowers. Like, that's some high level magic. I feel like the only way that she's like balanced in this world is just because she's so easily distracted and only uses her power for her own amusement.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, right? Like, I mean, that's essentially the way she's written, and it's nice. I don't care about as much about like we don't know the details on the rules, but I think that's kind of the point, is that she doesn't play. Lulu doesn't play by the rules, right?
Makes her own rules.
I think Lulu should come out and be the big bad in every lore event. Like Viego, what a chump. She doesn't give a shit. She turns him into a swirl.
If Viego had corrupted Lulu, all that power directed in at something, damn.
He can't corrupt Lulu. It's not possible.
No, he can't.
Not my Lulu. Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, this is a lot of fun to read. The tone is really fun. I think one thing I liked about it is that like whenever anything's happening, it's always done in a really entertaining way. Like, it's not just like, oh, and then this happened and then this happened. Like, whenever anything's happening, it's there's like these little like flourishes, like an arrow, like Lulu's up on something, she's up on her stick and she's looking out, and an arrow comes towards her and her hat like knocks it away. The little tip on the end of the hat like bats it away. You know, or even like she drops the doodad at one point, and it's not like just like, oh, it fell into the grass. It like falls into the grass, and the spirit feels this like invisible wave of energy kind of ripple out as it lands. You know, it's just like all these little things that help keep it. Like, I could visualize this super well, and I would love to see this as a cinematic. Frankly, this was so.
I was gonna
entertaining.
say this would be such a good cinematic. If anything, just to see Draven run away from a giant rabbit, which I would like to see.
Yeah. And this is, that's kind of a Graham McNeil specialty too. He's very good at describing the minutia of a scene to really be able to picture it.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like, the depictions of Lulu's abilities, like when Pix is doing the shield, it's like, oh, there's flower petals, and the flowers themselves are like deflecting arrow shots and stuff. I was like, oh, that's such a cool way to interpret that, like, in-game ability, because otherwise it's like, how do I give this person the shield, right? Well, that's just like, oh, it's just a little arcane shield, Yeah, tons of fun. Really liked it.
And that's basically it for her stories.
Yeah.
So we'll
Nice.
we'll let you off the hook here, Faye. But
Sure.
thank you so much for joining us today. It was great to have you. Great to get your insight.
Oh, I just remembered another random fun fact.
Go for it, please
hit us with it.
Do you remember the Jinx music video?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
did all the voices for Jinx in the background, like basically anything that wasn't the singing. So her on the rhino and laughing probably sounds like Lulu, because that's me.
Fucking knew it. I swear to God, when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize that Faye was going to do the voice for Jinx. And then I saw that you didn't, and I was so confused.
I was just
That's great.
It makes so much
sometimes
sense now.
the Riot music guys, or whatever they were known as, would just like call in favors.
Yeah.
I believe it. Especially around the
I remember
that
a lot
time,
of those where they're like, hey, we need people to like yell.
Yeah.
Who wants to take 15 minutes and come into the studio and just yell?
Yeah,
knows someone who's
right?
good at yelling.
Right. Yeah.
Who was that? I think for like the Draven
Yeah.
opening, where they just needed
Yeah,
people
all
to
the
yell
people chanting
Draven like
Draven
they were
or-
in a coliseum or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of like, adversity kind of like driving ingenuity, right? Where it's like, hey, we need to do something, right? We can't like go out and get a course or something like that. That's really cool though. I'll have to like rewatch that with that in mind then and listen to it. Because just thinking about it, I can even hear it. I was like, oh yeah, I can picture Lulu zooming around on her stick.
running with the balloon, the yawn, everything.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
It was fun. All right, well, thank you so much, guys. This was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Um,
Seriously. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to kind of plug before you go too, or?
Let's see. I have a Twitch. I have a YouTube. I'm on Twitter most actively, though most of the time I just shit post.
Hell
That's what
yeah.
Twitter's for. That's the best part of Twitter.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So my Twitter is at Faye Mata. Just my name. FAYEMATA. My Twitch is the same. FAYEMATA, or twitch.tv/FAYEMATA. And I stream variety things. So sometimes I'll do challenge me in Smash for charity, or I'll do a drawing stream, or I do these Friday Flex positivity streams where people come in and I ask everybody to tell me at least one thing that they're proud of accomplishing in the last week, and then people say I did this, and then the entire chat gasses them up like, you did a great job, yeah, and then everyone's happy.
That's awesome.
That's dope.
Yeah, random video games.
All
right. So, Lulu shows up one more place in a Bandle Scout mission journal.
Yep.
Which was, I think, either a Wild Rift promo, I want to say.
I think it was a Wild Rift promo, yeah.
Basically, Teemo's just going out investigating shit, and he's investigating a horn of Rhymefang wolves. He had heard stories about, and he finds the pack, but then they very quickly turn into poros, and he realizes that they had been polymorphed by Lulu the whole time. And it also says that she accidentally created a massive poro using her Bigify spell. And maybe that's the King Poro?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Deep conspiracy.
In terms of the stuff that's on her universe page, by the way, it also has the theme song. And let me just say, the biggest disappointment in the world is the fact that she has a theme song named Lulu and Shaco's Quirky Encounter. And we get no fucking story about a Lulu and Shaco quirky encounter. I want that short story. What the hell?
That would be so good.
At least it sounds good. I'll be curious to see if it would make sense when we get to Shaco. But
That's true.
Oh, I don't think there's any lore on Shaco.
Yeah, I'm sure there's nothing. We'll start
half a
measuring things in
Heimerdinger.
Shacos. Zero. It's absolute zero when it comes to lore. Wasn't this one of the things they put out when they put out like a collection of music? This was one of the ones that made it on there. What a pick.
Yeah, this was part of their first music collection.
Yeah. I think even on the little frequencies documentary they made about this, I remember they had whoever the violinist is, I don't remember her name, talking about like, it's so fucking fast. I'm trying to get it up to it. It's like I'm trying. But yeah, I vaguely remember that. It's an interesting like champion pair to pick for like, we're gonna do this piece, this musical piece, right?
Right.
It's cool though.
Yeah, it is a good piece of music. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
So on to cinematics. We talked a little bit about don't mess with yordles. One thing that we didn't necessarily mention was, and this is a question mark, but Lulu might be referencing the Malphite doesn't do anything meme for as many times as she says this rock doesn't do anything.
That's
maybe.
That is a hell of a fucking stretch, but I like it. I like where your brain's at.
She's also in the Ignite cinematic.
Oh yeah,
she's actually in it, where she gets walloped by a Meganar with the rest of her team, so that Faker can win worlds.
Yeah, all I remember is that face of hers right before she gets smushed into oblivion. Yeah,
I don't remember this.
It was like her
splash,
like
water skin, splash down, whatever.
And then she's in the Pop Stars music video. In the first scene, where Ari sings the pre-chorus, there's a bottle of detergent on the washer next to her, which has a picture of Pool Party Lulu on it.
She's featured heavily in the Pop Stars music video.
Yeah. So, I mean, you wouldn't have that music video if not for Lulu.
Thanks, Lulu.
Thank you, Lulu. She really ties it together.
Along that same line, she's also in the Harmonies comic because Seraphine has a Star Guardian poster on her wall with Lulu on it.
Cute.
You're welcome. Now we've got AU stuff.
Well, before we do that, how do we feel about Canon Lulu? We didn't actually really talk too much about it. I think she's cute. It's kind of what I expected, having not read Lulu's lore, just having played Lulu.
Yeah.
I do wish, we said that it would be fun to see her with Shaco. It'd be fun to just see her interact with anyone more. It's really fun seeing her with Tristana, who takes herself a very serious yordle, it looks like.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they have nice little banter there. I didn't mention it about the bio earlier, but it reminded me a bit of Gragas in that it ends in a really good spot for her to go out and do things. It's like she's trying to get back to the Glade, but the way to do that is to just go out and do adventures, just do her own thing in Runeterra. And we see those little examples, which I like. I like champions be kind of in that spot of like, oh, she's not squirreled away in a little spot. She's incentivized to go out and be doing things and acting. So I would like to see her, I don't know, team her up with Gragas, right? I'd love to see their little adventuring party with like one or two others,
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's definitely not like a lot of other champions where I'm like, I don't like the color story, or like I wanted something else. Like I feel like the color story is exactly what I wanted for this, even though Lulu's just one of a handful of champions that are featured in it. This is exactly the type of Lulu story that I think fits great for her. And I think that tied together with the Don't Mess with Yordle cinematic too is like, I'm not disappointed with the amount of Lulu lore we got. And
Yeah.
I liked all of it. I would love more of it because it was all delightful. But
Yeah.
I won't complain about what we got. I would
Agreed.
just wish for more.
It's hard to get like too deep with Lulu, I feel like, because she's very she wears her heart on her sleeve, right? Like you're not going to get like a really deep character development from her, I don't think. I could be wrong.
No, I don't think so.
And yeah, I mean if it was just the bio, I might be more like bothered by it being it's a little meandering and the Glade's like really vague and some things are unclear, but like you said, with those two pieces, it's like it's fine. I'm entertained. And yeah, give her some more stuff. Like, just put her with more champions. She's a great foil to people who are very serious and have more of those long arcs going on. Having Lulu pop up with Lucian would be great. Just all sorts of shit.
I would have loved
would
to
be
have seen her
great.
in the Ruination, honestly.
Sure. My
The
only
Lulu Nation.
The only thing I'm wondering about great. Lulu Nation, rise up. The only thing I'm wondering about is like what's the deal with Pix a little bit, because Pix can sometimes come off a little sinister. Like Ivern or whoever kind of says that these little glitter bugs try and get away from him before he can pick their wings off, which is a little more mean than I guess I thought Pix would be, but I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's kind of like a cat, like when cats
Yeah.
torture a bug or a mouse, you're like, oh, they don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I assume. He's just following his heart, right? Just like Lulu.
You do you, Pix.
I mean, you could argue
He's
that
like
about
setting-
Jin
he's
too, I
setting
guess.
fires.
Jin just followed his heart.
Right.
He's not evil. He doesn't know any better.
Like a cat.
Just making his way in the world.
It's like a cat. John,
Yeah.
I just real quick before you start the AUs, does Bittersweet Lulu have an AU? Because that's all I want in life.
Of course.
Thank you. That's my favorite Lulu skin.
part of
Everyone's
Candy
so
Kingdom, I
disturbed
bet.
when you play it.
She's part of Sugar Rush. I'll
Fuck,
do that one
that's
first
what-
for you even.
Thank you. All right, I'm looking at it now. She's just so evil and great, and the cupcake is just such a good skin.
From the gingerbread castle to the root beer sea, the licorice mountains to the gumdrop forest, this is the Candy Kingdom in all its glory. It says Bittersweet Lulu, a candy witch living on the outskirts of the peppermint pine barrens. Lulu's saccharine enchantments are known to grant incredible powers to anyone who desire them, but only at great cost to their candy soul.
That's
So everyone in this
fantastic.
universe has a candy soul, apparently.
Good to know.
I do too. That's great. That's perfect.
And she's also part of Dragon World. Twice did Dragonfire consume the world. Twice from the embers. Twice from the embers were born heroes. Yeah, there we go. And that was confusingly written. And this one's Dragon Trainer Lulu. Dragons, though feared, are still living things and can be befriended under the right circumstances. Lulu enthralled her small friend with whimsical magic, becoming the first ever dragon trainer. And this has some helpful dragon trainer tips, too, to keep in mind if you're going to train your own dragon at home. Who didn't feed the dragon? An unhappy dragon is a hungry dragon. Feed your dragon regularly to avoid symptoms such as hunger, hanger, and sudden urge to eat, well, you. It's a common misconception that dragons like to live in caves filled with gold. They actually like to be outdoors most of the time, unless it's raining or there's really good movies on the television. Do not point your dragon at or around your face. Refusing to follow these rules will probably almost 100% result in total body death. So, there you have it, folks. Go on and raise your own dragons. Now, she's also part of Space Groove. In a groovy galaxy a million disco infernos away, a mysterious energy known only as the Groove brings music and prosperity to trillions of galactic citizens. But when the alien overlord Lysandra and her army of harsh vibes begin to enslave planets and suppress disco music, a new age of heroes rises to stop her and keep the party groovin'. This is the one that's likely inspired by Space Channel 5, that old game. And this one is Space Groove Lulu. Hailing from Boogie Wonderland, a planet of pure groove, Lulu is uniquely attuned to the resonance of cosmic disco energy. Using her staff to conjure visions of freedom and abandon to the beat of the music, she can even get the most left-footed creatures in the galaxy tapping along. And then she has a prestige skin, too. Fresh off a visit from the 3 party goddesses in the center of the galaxy, Lulu's more in tune with the groove than ever. Her visions are even more potent, her beats are even more irresistible, and no one knows where Lulu's going to pop up next.
Cool.
And this also has a cinematic to go along with it called Exploration, which is just an amazing retro anime style music video, which is very good.
The music fucking bumps, by the way.
Yeah, it does.
I love it.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's very cute. It looks like an anime from the 80s.
Yeah, it makes me think of like the Daft Punk like Discovery a bit, stuff like that. It looks even older than that, though, to be fair. But
yeah.
yeah.
Now it's part of Snowdown Showdown, which are the winter skins separated into the Poro King Court and the Winterland inhabitants. This one's Winter Wonder Lulu, a kindly sorceress trailed by her Poro pal Pix. Lulu's whimsical ice magic amazes and delights Snowdown revelers everywhere. She's also a skilled fighter, firing deadly glacial spikes and transforming foes into harmless snowmen. And she shows up in the Be Your Best Santa cinematic from this one. She just kind of makes a cameo.
Is she on a box of laundry detergent or?
No.
No, okay.
That'd be ridiculous.
It's a box of hot chocolate, dumbass.
Yeah. With marsh Lulus.
Yeah.
That was the best you got for marshmallows.
I have COVID. And we've got World Championship.
Sounds like me. Anytime I need to, I'll just say I'm pregnant all the time for any excuse. Or if he's mean to me, I'm like, I'm carrying your child, John. What were you
Inspired by untold victories and her faithful Pegasus familiar Pix, Lulu stands ready to delight new allies and confound new foes. These are the World Championship skins.
Okay, I really didn't
Oh my
remember
god, I
this
was
one.
scrolling through all the skins, like, which one the fuck is this?
Man, I really didn't remember this one.
And then we have Pool Party, where each champion's equipped with summertime clothing. We've got Pool Party Lulu. Floaties and adorable squid hats are in order whenever Lulu hits the beach with Pix the pufferfish. But be careful not to splash her. She can turn people into adorable baby seals. Cute, cuddly, and utterly defenseless baby seals.
Oh my god. What the fuck is this?
I thought you were gonna say cute, cuddly, and clubbable, but nah.
Oh my god.
Is that
Y'all
too
are
much?
fucked up.
I mean, I was just reading the lore. That's all part of the lore blurb. I didn't
Yeah, that didn't
improv
come from
anything
his
there.
brain.
No, Mark though.
Yeah, sorry.
Mark put his own spin on it.
Apologies. I'm sorry. I love baby.
Don't
okay.
club baby seals, folks.
Don't
No,
club
hey,
seals.
folks. Don't club baby seals.
Doo-doo. I can't remember the More You
Right,
Know
this
song.
has been a public service announcement. And we've got Event Horizon. In the vast darkness of space are born terrible, beautiful things, cosmic creatures of sublime love and the unknowable monstrosities of the Dark Star. These are the children of silent gods, and they are finally coming home. This one is Cosmic Enchantress Lulu. Tasked with charting the heavens, Lulu's whimsical splashes of magic dot the sky with newborn stars. She keeps meticulous records of their names, mourning each of them when they finally pass. And the short story for this is Ambition's Embrace. This one basically is the Dark Star is growing in power. Lux is sent to confront it. Meanwhile, Lulu lets us know that the Dark Star has devoured Jin, who used to be part of the Cosmic Court.
Mm.
And last but not least, certainly not least, Star Guardian. In a vast and dark universe, young warriors are chosen by fate to protect the light of the stars. They are destined to burn bright, but collapse as furiously as they shine. And this one is Star Guardian Lulu. The youngest member of Lux's team, Lulu is an odd but gifted Star Guardian. Though her unique relationship with the starlight is sometimes puzzling, Lulu can be counted on to support her team and let them know that the light supports them too. And then she's also got a Pajama Guardian Lulu. Fuzzy onesies! Paper fortune tellers! Cuddly incoming! Lulu's so ready for this slumber party. Even Pix is excited and getting into the spirit of things. Star Guardians are destined to protect the universe, but that doesn't mean they can't have a little fun along the way. And in this one, too, all of the champions kind of have their own little mini bio. So this one is, to Lulu, this inner world is the most wondrous place, and anything outside of it is not as interesting. Because of her fascination with the starlight, outwardly she may appear unconcerned with the gravity of her responsibilities. This whimsical behavior is puzzling to some teammates, but they accept her and all her eccentricities. Also, her blood type is AB, her favorite food is cupcakes, and her hobby is gardening. So
Teen Bop
now you
magazine article over here.
Now there are several short stories here. New Stars is first, which just tells us a little bit more about Star Guardians. Yeah, so in the beginning of all things, the first star gave its light to create the universe, and then new worlds were born, and with them, warriors imbued with the light of the first star. And as a Star Guardian fades, their power is reborn in new protectors, and Star Guardians are chosen for their strength and resolve, but above all else, they're chosen for their courage. And it often signals a cataclysmic battle elsewhere in the universe when multiple Star Guardians are chosen to serve at once. Star Guardians must familiarize themselves with the customs and rituals of a planet in order to blend in with its inhabitants, dispelling any suspicion about their true nature. And then Starfall is the other one, where Lux and her team of Star Guardians go on a team-building retreat, where they meet Ari and her team of Guardians, although they don't realize they're Guardians at the time. The camp is attacked by darkness, and the two teams fight together to defeat it. The end. Some things about Lulu in this story. It seems that she might be able to predict the future through her drawings. Or maybe she just has like a closer to connection to the power of the first star that like gives her visions, and then she draws those visions down. Jinx's nickname for Lulu is Loops. And there's a cute moment where Lulu asks Jana to tell her a story, and it gave me a big lamb wolf vibe, with Lulu constantly interjecting with things like, "And that's where we're from, right? Did she find sisters like us?" And then at the end, Lux jumps in front of the big monster that they're fighting to save Lulu's life.
Lulu getting into trouble.
Like she do.
I like the drawing
then
thing.
we've got-
That's a neat idea.
Oh, yeah.
To do something
like
a little
the-
different in the AU.
Yeah. I like the idea that she's just like, obviously yordles, I don't think exists here. She just looks like she's supposed to be a little girl.
Yeah,
I know.
her and Poppy both seem like very young in
Yeah.
in this.
They're just kids instead.
Mm.
Although still in the same grade in the cinematic, it looks like.
Oh.
Interesting.
Huh.
Who
but
knows?
clearly Lulu's very young.
Yeah, very chibi Usa type thing.
I mean, size-wise, she's like 18 months. Looking at the skin, comparing it to everybody else's size.
She's a very smart 18-month-year-old.
She's
And
the
a bit of a
size
bobblehead.
lime.
Her head's the same size as the rest of them, maybe even a little bigger, to be honest. But, like
She's
babies.
got like a Doogie Howser thing going on. She just skipped a bunch of grades.
I thought you meant Doogie Howser had like a really big head. I was like, I've never seen it, but
that's
I
what
have
thought you
seen.
meant, like,
I have seen
he
Neil
known for a
Patrick
bob?
Harris.
He's got a normal head. What are you talking? Yeah.
Did he not? Did he grow into it? Like, did he have to grow into his head?
His head was always that
Right.
size. Now we also have the Slumber Party, where Lux plans a mandatory Star Guardian meeting. Lulu, not realizing that she just meant her team, invites Ari's team to go to it too. So they show up and they have a slumber party. Things are tense, but they finally lighten up and become friends. Lulu spends most of this story playing with one of those little like MASH paper games, like the fortune-telling games. But she also spills that she talks directly to the First Light, which is news to the other team, to the other people on the team, most of whom like haven't spoken to the First Light since they were turned into Star Guardians. It seems like Lulu's kind of the only one with that connection. Lulu in this story is also the one who ends up making all of the extra pajama outfits for the second team who didn't come with pajamas.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Skilled seamstress, not even on her list of talents, but apparently.
Maybe they're really shitty. They're like really.
And then finally, for short stories, we've got the Twilight Star, where the Star Guardians are playing at a playground because Lulu had a vision of it and drew it in her notebook. And suddenly they're attacked by Zoe. She attacks with bubbles, Jinx almost gets hit, but Lux shields her, and then Janna blows them away, and then they manage to fight Zoe back. But Lulu gets hit by a bubble, trying to rescue Miss Fortune, and has a vision that she is coming, but they don't know who she is. So they decide they need to contact Ari, but then that's when they find out that Ari disappeared after the slumber party, leading straight to the events of the Light and Shadow cinematic.
but where's Louis? What did Louis do?
Louis not here right now.
My pal Louis, where'd he go?
He's grabbing a slice on 22nd.
He's getting a hoagie.
This fucking guy.
She's also in the Burning Bright cinematic for Star Guardians, which, you know, just cool little cinematic. Her and her team are fighting Baron Nashor. The end.
That's a war.
Right.
And I've got some fun facts about Lulu.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
In the Event Horizon AU, Lulu's pet, instead of being called Pix, is called Aurelian Smole.
Oh, that's cute. I like
That's
that.
really cute. Also, is it called Event Horizon? Have we talked about this before?
Yeah, Event Horizon is like the larger AU that Dark Star takes place in.
Oh, also a great
Okay.
movie. I feel like I might have mentioned this in the past, but how do you call it Event Horizon? That's Taken. Riot.
Can
It's
never
already
use
in
it
a
again.
movie.
No one ever said that phrase until that movie.
Yeah, that phrase definitely didn't exist or come from anywhere. It's only that
Fully
movie.
original.
Yeah.
Lulu's production name was Wayna the Supportal, which is a portmanteau of support yordle.
I like that.
Wow,
That should be her
okay.
actual
Wayna?
subtitle. Wayna. Wanga. Yeah.
Tawanga. That was a stretch, I'm sorry.
Tuwanga or not Tuwanga? That is the question.
Alright, we're done.
Lulu is the first champion to, 1, be announced directly through an art spotlight, 2, be available for play on PBE before her official release, and 3, have her own login screen and dedicated theme.
Yes, this was very exciting. I remember John like excitedly showing me this when we first started dating. I didn't understand the significance of it. He's like, "Look at this like the music, it's the same but different."
Yeah, this was back when all of the champion themes, it was a short period of time, maybe just like 3 or 4, but where all of the champion themes were variations of just the main League of Legends theme, but made to sound like, whatever champion they were for. So this one was like a whimsical version of the League theme, which was neat. I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't go back and watch it for this, but maybe I will. Just a little bit of that nostalgia vibe.
Now, Lulu was the last champion to release with 2 skins alongside her classic one.
Oh, I didn't realize
wow.
that.
Wow, she's
She's
like, she must mark. It's interesting that like she got the first login screen, last one to get the 2 skins on the release, first one to get like a PBE thing. I wonder if like she's like a milestone almost. I feel like as in that way, it seems like
Yeah.
like Riot's development process changed significantly somehow.
Like, we're going to take this shit seriously.
Yeah, we can't be doing 2 skins no more. We can't be releasing red and green Lulu or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Wicked Lulu doesn't look that much different than regular Lulu. I do like it. I'll play it sometimes, mostly because she turns people into cats, which is very
Always good.
And they'll meow, like a little tiny meow if you pay attention, which is very, very nice. But
Speaking of which, in chat, the enemy player's character name is replaced with Harmless Critter while they're polymorphed by Whimsy.
Oh, that's cool.
Before like patch 11.1, the changed name would actually change depending on what skin you were playing as Lulu. So it could be Squill, Cupcake, Kitty, Dragon, Snowman, Blob, or Jelly.
okay.
Interesting.
Whimsy, Help Picks, Lamb's Respite, Tempered Fate, and Time Warp are the only abilities in the game that can affect themselves, allies, and enemies. And 2 of those are Lulu's.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was probably a big difference too. Is that there were abilities that worked differently if you use them on allies versus enemies, which is not like a wild concept now, but I feel like then it was kind of a new thing.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
It's ahead of her time.
Yeah. I mean, I think she's a great, like, I don't play support a lot, but when I think of support, she's one of the ones that comes to mind because it feels like for an enchanter, she can always be doing something to either be helping or hurting, right? Which it seems like you want with an enchanter. You get shit to do.
She's a lot of fun for that. She's one, I don't think she's gotten many massive changes since release. She was just kind of like honed it. Probably balance changes for different lanes, like that happens with supports. People want to take them top or mid or whatever. But I feel like her and like Thresh, I feel like are 2 that come to mind. Is like they've been very similar the entire time they've been in the game.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. And just solid supports. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, always good.
People talk about like enchanters being OP or like Lux, like mages being OP as supports, and I disagree. I think like classic supports are like, if you know how to play them, you're gonna fuck up the game way more than a Lux is. Not that I don't love Lux. I love playing Lux.
Interesting.
So there's a Poro in the background of the Winter Wonder Lulu splash art that sports a mustache, which was later revealed to be the first teaser we got for Braum.
Oh, I see it. Cute.
Neat.
He's got
And
the
then
little
finally-
horns. Sorry.
Yeah, he's got the cute little horns. Cute little mustache.
Oh my god.
Star Guardian Lulu is the first Lulu skin without her signature oversized hat.
That's
yeah.
true.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, she's got like a little crown on, a little bow.
Yeah.
Well, now the skin sucks.
Delete
have
it.
a big hat.
Refund.
Remake it.
She's nothing without her hat. Nothing.
To be fair, I never use this one. I would use Pajama Guardian over that.
Yeah, those are my Lulu facts.
Yay.
Cool.
Yay.
How we feeling about Lulu?
Her bio was
Thumbs
kind
up.
Yeah, thumbs up. Bio was kind of whatever, but the short story was tons of fun. I was not bored at all reading it for one of the longer ones, and then the cinematic's great. I think I said it earlier, but it might be my favorite at this point.
Oh yeah, I agree. I love that cinematic so much. I want more Yordle cinematics in general because I just think they're so
Yeah, for
interesting
sure.
and fun. But yeah, I think Lulu, she's good. I think she works well as a side character Like, I don't think she should be a protagonist kind of in a story. She just doesn't have that vibe. And, yeah, I don't think she's ever going to have any kind of arc, which is fine. It works for her.
Yeah, for sure.
Wandering
Completely
aimlessly
agree.
is kind of her whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's why she can just show up anywhere, and it would
Yeah.
probably work. You know.
So put her in
Literally.
Arcane. Come on.
I want her showing up in the background of like every other champion story, just doing like one random thing, even if it's not confirmed it's her. Just like
Well,
some
no.
weird shit happens in the story that no one understands. Like, oh, that's fucking Lulu, wasn't it?
All right, so from now on, we'll try to find the Lulu in every single story.
Right? Maybe they've been doing it this whole fucking time.
Man,
Maybe.
subtle.
I want to see her interact with Vex.
She waved her wand and made all of the Heimer lore disappear.
Oh, that bitch.
It's just lost, right? It just doesn't want to be where Heimer is, right? Yeah, her and Vex would be fun. She reminds me a lot of like Zoe, just from like the way so my interactions with Zoe in game. So they might be fun to have them interact. And maybe they're like almost too similar. Like it's more fun to put her with things that are very different, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked Lulu's stuff.
Yeah. Well, that was Lulu. Thank you for listening, and thank you, Faye, again, for joining us.
Yeah.
And sorry, we're like kind of a little bit lower energy than normal, I think.
You know.
If it wasn't made clear,
John has COVID.
I have COVID.
All right. We have a Twitter. It's at Loreheads. We're also on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Loreheads. We usually stream League on Saturdays together, and then John does some TFT on Mondays. We have a YouTube where we post these, and John has some parodies. He just did one about Lilia. It was very dirty and weird and wonderful. So be sure to check that out. And join our Discord. You can find the link in the description of this episode. And we have a Patreon. Thank you so much to all of our patrons.
And a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons, Mylect, King of Hearts, Jeremy Rich, and D's Smurfs.
We've got
You are
another
all
one now.
Amazing. And if you ever needed someone to gift you, a kidney, then
Good luck
I
finding
don't
one.
have I don't
You
have
got a
enough for
blood
all of you,
relative.
but but I think about it.
Imagining this story now, like a podcaster promises a kidney to someone and they happen to be a match and legally obligated to do it.
Like, yep, binding verbal contract right there.
Give up a
They didn't
kidney.
even need the kidney; they just wanted it.
You gotta share it, okay? That's the thing, okay?
Oh boy. And be sure to join us next week. We're going to talk about another one of my mains, one right after another. The Lady of Luminosity, Lux.